Good morning on this happy trading day. It is Monday, and this is the first time that I've ever recorded subsequent days of trading, and so we can actually see how this is going to play out. So on Friday, I made a prediction that it was going to go up, and you can see overnight it did trickle up a bit, and then as soon as the opening bell came, it made a big jog upwards. So we'll see how far this goes and how much it pans out. But so far, so good. All right, so I did have a little trouble getting my computer on this morning. I don't know why Thinkorswim platform didn't want to get pulled up. So unfortunately, I missed this whole leg. I couldn't get it on in time. So here we are at the first screen, what it looked like when I saw it this morning. You can see the blue arrow of my trading yesterday. All right, and it's definitely uptrending, very strongly uptrending, and it looks like a good place to get in a long position here, as I did here. Put in an order for a long position, and I also have my triggers set to come on. All right, and so you can see I got filled there, and it started to go up. So I I brought my stop up to lock in some profits at what I was thinking would be just under $100. And anyway, I got stopped out here at a bit lower than I was hoping. So I made 62 in profit, and it looks like the MACD is like peaked out and maybe tipping over and going down. So I was waiting it out, went ahead and put in the arrow where I began trading or thereabouts. And I'm kind of waiting at this point because it's uptrending. I really am not sure at this point if I want to do a short, but it does look like it might make a drop. I just wasn't sure how far down it would go. The other thing I did was this red price line right through here. You can see I traced it back to the previous, I guess it was the previous morning. Yeah, looks like this was kind of where it started off in the morning. And it has gone above it. It was you can see it acted like a resistance level right through here, and then it broke through about 15-20 minutes after the opening bell, and it broke through. So now it's going to be a support level. And that's also where the gold SMA is right here. So I thought that was a pretty good price line right there. Okay, now it's really starting to look like we've shown two peaks here. One is lower than the other, and the RSI is losing momentum. I would bet you about anything at this point that it's going to start curling over and dropping. So I went ahead and did a short. I don't know how far down it's going to go. It could only go to the yellow line right here, but this is where my stops and limits were automatically set, so I haven't adjusted them yet. So, all right, now we're really starting to see on the 5-minute chart over here, we saw a great big red line. It's dropped down to that support level now, and now it's thinking about where it's going. What's going on here? Oh, okay. I think I put in an order, but I didn't actually get filled right there. But it did drop, just like I had said. So I went ahead and canceled that order. And now I'm kind of waiting to see, okay, is it going to drop further or is it going to go up? All right, and I decided, yeah, it's holding its own right here, and it's looking like the MACD is tipping up. So I went ahead and did a long, thinking it would go up a bit. Again, I have not adjusted my limit order. I'm thinking at this point it's probably not going to go up that far, but we'll see. All right, it's going up. I lowered that a bit. MACD's just crossed, gaining momentum. Still have a red candle over here, but it's more of a doji pattern. And I can see, I scrolled over to the left so you can see another like resistance level where it might possibly go, which is why I put my limit order right there. That's this peak right over here. I think that was the day, like the day, like Thursday evening. Oh, I was saying, yeah, Thursday evening before the opening bell on Friday. All right. And I got out because it started to hesitate. And I'm still thinking that we may be forming a peak that's lower than this one. Excuse me, I didn't get out. I'm still in at this point. I believe I did get out. Yeah, I actually sandwiched my order in order to get out. Just in this area, I just felt like it was peaked out right there. So I made it maybe $100 more for that trade. And it looks like it's just now filled. Just hasn't. I caught it right in between filling and disappearing there. Okay. I'm losing track of where I am here. Okay, so I got out and then I got in a short. And I got in a short kind of low here. But this peak is, see, we're losing height every time we make a peak here. So I feel like it's turning over. And also we've come up with 2 red candles over here. So it does kind of look like it's the rise of this morning has peaked out and it's probably going to drop. So I did a short. And we're just kind of waiting it out to see. I probably got in a little bit too soon, but it went up, but not too far. And I'm still pretty much at break even. I placed my limits and my stops at decent spots. This is just above the last peak, and this is at a pretty good support level right there. And you can see on the longer term chart, that's like right in the middle of everything. That seems fairly conservative. So I think the likelihood of dropping down to that point is pretty good at this point. Okay, so we're continuing to drop with our little jogs here and there. The MACD is not looking real good. That's a little bit concerning right there. But it did continue to drop, and looks like I might get executed here in a minute. And I did, I believe I got out right there because I am not holding a position right here. However, I did put an order in to do another short because at this point I'm pretty sure I see what's going on. And we've got a great big red candle here. So even though I just got out of a short position, yeah, you can see it. You got out and then it bounced up right here, peaked out, and now it's starting to drop again. It's like, okay, now I'm pretty sure that I know that it's going to drop even more. All right, so I'm in a short position right here. It's dropping down. And there was one of these trades. I think it might have been this one. It might have been the next one. I tried to get out here and it didn't take it. Yeah. And it started to go up. So I started to get a little bit worried. Like, oh man, I missed out on getting out. I wish I had. But kind of had to think at that point, am I going to just stay in this position and knowing that it's probably going to drop, or should I get out right now? So I wrote it out, lost all of my profit, raised my stop to a tolerable place where I'm at a $500 profit here. So this is going to be about half of my profit lost if it does hit the stop. But again, this is starting to curl over and drop. So I'm not too worried that it's going to go up too far. It did go up a little bit further here. Still working on curling over. But the longer term charts over here are looking like they are peaked out and ready to drop. So I'm not too worried. Hanging on. Okay, and then it dropped down, and I believe it hit my stop right at that point. So I must have raised that up to the bottom here. And I made another 100 and some. So, sorry about my phone, it's making a racket. Okay, so then I got out because it looked like maybe it was going to make another jog upwards, and I'm going to ride it out and see. Okay, so it didn't go up very far, as you can see. That was the only jog we got. So I decided to get in another short. This is my fourth trade of the day. So far, everyone has been profitable. These MACDs are looking very, very good about dropping some more. This is pretty low, but because of the trend that I see happening, this curling over here, I think this is a pretty decent place to get in a short. So now I'm in a short, got in a little bit too soon again because it went up. And you can see it went up to that yellow line, another good resistance place. And we are just now forming a MACD, which doesn't look good going up. But again, I'm seeing a pretty good pattern here. I see that it hasn't really gotten down as far as I think it will go. I went ahead and canceled my stop here, which was a little risky, but I think it'll all pan out. All right, and it hit that stop resistance, or that resistance level up here and dropped again, and now I'm back in the green. I've got my limit order where I think it's going to go, or just above it. Okay, here I zoomed in a little bit, and you can see this yellow, this 50 SMA on this chart here is sitting at 165.75. Down here, the blue SMA is sitting at 165.50. So both of those SMAs are in almost identical locations. And so I put my limit order like one tick above the highest one there, because I really think it's going to go down that far. All right. And I don't have a stop in place, but I was fairly confident in this trade, even though the MACD down here does not look good. I'm not asking a whole lot more movement, and it's very possible it will drop down that far and catch it before it does anything else. Perhaps I was greedy, I said, but that's what I did. And I did get filled. It did make that last jog downwards. In fact, it even blew past that SMA and executed my order probably a little bit lower than I was even hoping, which was awesome. And so now I sit at over $1,000 profit for the day. I'd say that was pretty good trading. And that was 5 trades. So that was my trading day. Thank you very much for joining me.